the southeastern part of Nigeria, where the police in Anambra State says the command is contemplating using airstrikes to flush out gunmen terrorizing residents of North and South Senatorial districts of the state. According to the State Commissioner of Police, Aderemi Adeoye, the air raid would help to completely eradicate the insurgency in Anambra, adding that the command has taken over 5 local government areas in the state, restoring law and order to those areas.
The police boss said that initially all the 7 local government areas in Anambra South Zone were controlled by insurgents, adding that out of the 7, 5 have been reclaimed and they are working on liberating the remaining 2. Now joining us this morning is the CEO Watch Africa Initiative, Patrick AGBAMU. He'll be joining us to have the conversation. Good morning and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
All right, we'd like you to give us further insight into the conversation. But first, give us a picture of what insecurity in Anambra State currently looks like.
Yeah, thank you. I think the situation in Anambra, it's fluid. Fluid in the sense that it's a bit calm for sometimes. For sometimes it comes up again, disturbing, and with the current police actions in Anambra, particularly led by the Commissioner of Police, CP Adeoye, I think that if the people of Anambra would support the police, security in the state will get better.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, it's also important to know, the severity of this situation we're talking about. We're talking airstrikes. Airstrikes, aren't for petty thieves or for people, local armed robbers or bandits, or non-gunmen as they are called. I don't know if it is on the level where you would require airstrikes. Does this mean that the resources that the Anambra State Police has at its disposal, and that includes military, NSCDC, the police itself. Enugu State, remember, has the 82 division, so there's still the availability of, army officers. Does this mean that all of that, it's not enough to tackle, including the intelligence agencies, the DSS, is not enough to tackle, these security challenges, and we want to go as far as using airstrikes?
I think I've read the report in the Guardian newspapers, and I didn't see anywhere the Commissioner of Police actually advocated that or suggested that the police will use airstrike. I think what he talked about there is that it's like a warning to the people, to these criminals, and to the people that if this continue and get out of hand, that there may be need to employ airstrike in controlling the situation. He did point out in that report also that the fear is the collateral damage. The fear of collateral damage is why airstrike have not been employed yet, and so he's suggesting that if it goes, it's like a warning to the people, and which I did not see wrong there, because you can't allow criminals to prevent the law-abiding citizens from their daily activities, and you allow them to do whatever they want to do, take over communities, and people are living in bushes and forests, So the warning is timely. He had not said that they would use, because I'm sure police don't have that resources. Police don't have a striking aircraft that will be able to carry out such operations. So really, the situation is that there are forests where these the IPOB, CN militant fighters have formed as their sanctuary, as their camps, from where they come out to strike. But these forests and these bushes also have farmlands where communities make their living. So
that's a good point.
Right.
That's a good point, and I like that you've mentioned that forest, because for people who are familiar with the Southeast, these kidnappings and these hideouts are mostly in those areas. Not just in Anambra State, even in Enugu, it's pretty much the same thing that is noticed in Udi and a couple other places Ogu. Well, I think some of those places in Enugu. And
yeah.
the reason I'm mentioning that is that, if I, as a citizen here in Lagos, has had ideas and heard stories about those forests, then it means that security agencies in Anambra know. And the people in Enugu know. Those in Imo State know. So, can anybody argue that the security agencies in those parts have just been unserious with handling these things all these years, and that's why it has continued to fester?
Yeah, you see, for security operations, you see, it's very much easy if you do not allow situation to get bad before you tackle it. That has been the problem of the security situation in Nigeria, because we have allowed, over time, we have allowed these criminals to form camps and comfort zone in these forests. In developed countries and some countries close in Africa here, they have what they call forest guards that keeps these forests protected and are preventing criminals from taking over these forests. Today, in those areas you mentioned, we have so many ungoverned spaces which these criminals have taken over, and from there they launch their attacks. The security forces, I wouldn't say they do not know, they know those areas. But like the CP did pointed out, and like I just said earlier, the fear of collateral damage is the situation. In those forests you mentioned in Ogu area, in some part in Suka and Ihiala in Anambra, cutting across into Imo State, you have farmlands in those forests. Now, the foot soldiers, say whether police or the military, the topography is very, very difficult for them to maneuver easily, unless they are going to go by foot or by motorcycles, but not by vehicles and all that. And in doing that, there are ambushes that are possible to take place.
Yeah.
The only action that would have taken place in those areas is the airstrike, which is what the Commissioner of Police talked about.
All right.
That if people don't stop, it will lead to that. But because of people that are farming there, because of people that are living around those areas, police cannot do this. Security forces, the Air Force, they cannot do much more than what they are doing now. Wait until they come out, or make a little advances into this forest as much as you can.
All right.
But like I said earlier, the communities need to cooperate with the security forces to be able to do their work.
All right, let's move away from there. I want you to quickly react to the story in River State, where the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has placed a 100 million naira bounty on the killers of Bako Angbashim, a superintendent of police in the state. Angbashim is a divisional police officer in Ahuada, East local government area of Rivers, and was killed on Friday when his team ran into an ambush while returning from an operation. Fubara in a statement said intelligence from security agencies has linked one gift, David Okpara Okpolo, and his criminal gang for being responsible for the murder of the senior police officer. Talk to us about the story as quickly as possible, about the effectiveness of using bounty hunts. Do you think that would be a tactic that can be employed to ease the killings in the southern region of the state, of the country?
Yeah, of course, bounty all over the world is a strategy to attract information. No matter how little or how large it is, people need to make some extra money, and if they know the whereabouts of a wanted person, they quickly want to provide the information as discreet as possible. And so it is a strategy that could help. But who says that this guy it cannot be gotten easily? I beg to disagree, because many people who are in the security sector knows the the genesis or the graduation of the guy that is nicknamed Two-Face. Far back as 2016, 2017, he was just coming up, and on several occasions he was arrested, and some politicians did shielded him until today. He has now become Lord and taken over so many communities. So that really is the situation within the community. So the action of the governor by suspending the traditional ruler, I support it 100%, because the traditional rulers, they know these people, they know who they are, they associate with them. So it's good to take decisive actions so that communities will not easily give out their lands to renegades, to criminals. Right. It's saddening me personally because the officer that is being talked that was killed, SP Bako, is somebody I know personally because I visited Bori when he was Bori. He covered the whole 4 local government areas in Kana area and all that. He did so well, and because of his exploit in Bori and the whole of Ogoni and Eleme Aziz, he was deployed to Ahoda to help to sanitize those areas. So it's a sad situation that happened, and the people. You see, one of the challenges we're having now is that the true security situation in Rivers State is not being reported. It's not being covered. Rivers State, as we speak now, the only place that the government of Rivers State control is in Port Harcourt, and some part that is Obiako local government and some part of the Ahoda, but the rest are taken over by several
Mr. AGBAMU, we'll have to interject at this point. Mr. AGBAMU, we apologize. We have to interject at this point because we've unfortunately run out of time. But that's a very valid point you've reported about what the true situation in Rivers State is. And we hope to be able to have you join us again to be able to expand further on this conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Patrick AGBAMU, for joining us.
Thank you.